was hundreds and hundreds of people. They all went there, and they were going to just storm Area 51 to catch the aliens.
What have we turned into? We go from like fighting for our freedom literally like 200, 300 years ago to now we're trying to attack our own people to find out if aliens exist.
Welcome out, guys. Episode 4, extraterrestrial talk, and then some. What was the other thing? The astro.
I wanted to just talk a little bit about cosmography.
Cosmography.
Just briefly, not really diving in, just to keep it keep it lighthearted.
But. So aliens, Josh. What are your thoughts? Are they real?
Aliens. So personally, I don't believe that aliens are what we think they are. If that makes sense, okay. But I do think they exist. Yes.
And well, what do you think they? What do you think that we think that they think they are?
I think no. So I think we think. How do I even say this?
Words are hard. I know. It's okay.
I think the people of Earth think that aliens are this round-headed, bald-looking thing that comes from space.
Bro, are you saying that ET isn't real?
Exactly. Yeah. I don't think that those are the aliens that exist. I think it's more of a. I actually don't know. I do believe that they come from the ocean, though. There are lots of videos and recordings of these things flying faster than any device we've ever made on planet Earth, going into the ocean at record speeds. It's just like, it makes no sense.
Now, do you think that they came from the ocean, or long ago they inhabited our oceans? Because if they just come from our oceans, are they really aliens?
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think we fully understand yet what these creatures or things are. But I do believe they exist. There are lots of recordings of this type of stuff happening on the planet sometimes off the planet.
It's wild. I mean, you could think about it like what we were talking about, Atlantis. You know, it could be the Atlanteans. Down in the the Mariana Trench or whatever that is, and we just think that they're aliens, but they're probably just big chilling down there below the sea level.
You never know, man.
You never know, dude.
I saw
Black Panther too. Like, the Atlanteans are there. Okay.
That kind of goes into the cosmography thing a little bit. What cosmography is, for those that don't know, is it's a mixture between astronomy, geography, and the correlation between them. So a lot of ancient civilizations, if you look at their the buildings that they made, everything refers and revolves around the sky and the stars. And so what I believe in is that we experienced lots of asteroids, meteor strikes, great floods that have washed away humanity and has reset it. And that's what I believe. Aliens might be a very, very advanced version of us, maybe. I don't know. What are your thoughts there?
So just like a race that was erased. Get it?
That's terrible.
A race that was erased long ago, but there's still reminiscence of it all, and kind of like a resurgence of it.
Yeah, and if they've been around look at what we've done in the past like 50 to 100 years. We've technologically,
we sent a man to the moon.
Yeah, technologically we're so far ahead.
We'll bring it back to Elon Musk. We got a Tesla up into space. We've done so much. But no, I mean, we have done a lot, and so it would make sense for these beings have been here for millions of years. Then they're pretty technologically advanced.
They would be pretty advanced.
Now, aliens, I think they're real. I think there's something out there. We can't be the only things in the universe. Like, I think that's a wild thought, And so imagine that we are it. Like, I think that it's very strange to have that thought, but I also think it's super lonely. Like, if you look at the universe, right? If you look at the universe, if you just look at the galaxy, and you see planet Earth, we are so tiny in that, in the galaxy, just the galaxy, we're so small. Then you have the universe, which is multiple galaxies, thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands, however many it is. And then there's just like one dot. That's like if you were to look at this wall behind us and you see this little scratch right here, you can't. That's
Yeah.
us.
Yeah,
Like
literally.
we're small, and if there's nothing left in this whole vast majority, like maybe we can even say maybe we're just like the snail. We'll be generous, all right? And there's nothing else out there. And that's tough to believe. That's tough to think about, you know.
I think about that a lot. Yeah.
You know, and even if it's not like living to the extent of us, where there's like society and there's civilization, you know, at least some form of living organisms. And I know that they found plenty of evidence of like planets with like that had terrain to kind of host, you know, living organisms, and they found like water on the moon or something like that. I don't know. It's been a while since I've really researched that stuff. But yeah, no, I think there's something out there. There's got to be.
I think advanced civilizations, because there's been many advanced civilizations in the past, but it's only really been 12,000 years since we've had a lot of improvements as a civilization.
Yeah, and it's either there's aliens out there, or I'm gonna bring it back to we're just in a simulation. Like we don't even exist.
We're talking simulation.
Like
now.
we don't even exist if there aren't aliens all in the whole universe and it's just us, right? That's got to put you in the perspective of maybe we're just a simulation that's some random, you know, Jesus dude, right, on his computer of holiness, right, just running the program and just having us just go through our lives.
He's screwing with everybody.
He's just messing with everything. He's putting in new code to create COVID and disease and tsunamis and natural disasters. Dude, what if it's just
Nick is going to hurt his back today?
He's gonna pull his back picking up a sock. You know, like dude, man. Like that's crazy to think about too. Like, what if this is all just fake? What if the world isn't even real? What if all of our problems can just be erased with just hitting that Control-Alt-Delete? You know?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely that possibility, and a lot of people think that's a high chance that it is a simulation. But at the same time, like, I like what you said about the speck and the whole universe. I think about that a lot, and for me, it's like if we've only been around for 12,000 years in an as advanced people, we've been around for a way longer than that.
On the Earth,
but,
we'll say the Earth.
But we don't know. Like, there could have been people 200, 300,000 years ago that were more advanced than we are now, but we could have been totally erased from the map based on one meteor strike. That's how the dinosaurs died.
And this is gonna sound super nerdy, but I want to say people will probably, if they're watching this, if they know the show, I might be wrong.
Rick and Morty?
No, Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z.
Dragon Ball Z. There's this reference in there where the one of the characters, he's one of the gods. He's called Beerus.
Yeah.
And you might have heard of him, but I can't remember what the context was exactly. But they were talking about how like their worlds were going to get erased, and Beerus was saying, he's like, well, we've already, you know, civilization already was messing up, so you know, with the dinosaurs, so we had to erase them to allow for y'all to be able to grow and like become a new civilization.
I love that.
And I'm just like, that gets me thinking too. I'm just like, oh, like shoot, like what if? I mean, again, maybe not the simulation aspect of it all, but just like there's more of a control out there that's like dictating how we operate as a world or as an existence.
It's like, I think people don't respect nature, and they don't respect the way that everything how it works. A lot of people, like especially a lot of humans, they think that we're this superior race above all others, but we've been wiped out so many times by natural like if we can't even protect ourselves from our own planet or the asteroids around our planet, how do you expect us to find another planet out there? You know,
that's I mean, like, you know, the Big Bang started it all. That's what everyone says. That's what every scientist is going to tell you. And then, you know, you had the asteroid that wiped out the dinosaurs, the Ice Age, you know, that wiped out everyone after that. And then, you know, you have us, man.
There's been hundreds of ice ages.
I mean, there's been so many. And then I mean, that's kind of been nature's way of like wiping everything out. And then you have other natural ways of people getting killed off and population control, like the plague. I mean, most recently, kind of COVID was kind of a thing. You know. I mean, I know everyone was scared of that pretty heavily just because we didn't know what the hell was going on. But now it's more just like, oh, that's just like getting the common cold. no one really worries about that, especially with the vaccines. But there's different ways that we've just kind of been wiped out almost, or just reset to the point where we have to just rethink our lives and figure out what we're going to be doing.
I think Elon Musk mentioned this. He said we're at a spot now where we can either take charge and be the first civilization that doesn't get wiped out again, and we kind of expand and create this next step as a human race, or we can go backwards and then wait for something to happen like Yellowstone blowing up.
Dude, because I'm thinking like this whole
and
like
then we're going to be destroyed again.
Dude, I'm thinking like this whole global warming thing. Like, what if that's the Earth's way?
I was about to mention
like,
that.
Resetting us, like getting rid of everybody just to reset and get us all back.
I disagree, because we're actually in a cooling period right now.
Are we?
So, and this is a debate, because a lot of people, they hear people talk about on the news how global warming. If you look at the past, I think it's 5,000 years, and you look at the trajectory of the Earth's temperature compared to, they pulled out a tube in Antarctica, or no, sorry, the North Pole. They took out a massive tube. It's kind of like carbon dating, how they pull out a tube of dirt and they can carbon date things. They do the same thing with ice and check the temperature of different years. We've actually been, over the past 10,000 years, we're cooler than we were back then. Do you believe that?
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
Research that stuff, and it's crazy. People are like, oh, we're in this warming period. If you compare,
don't tell that to Elon Musk, because then his electric car business.
He believes that. He
believes that we're in a cooling period.
Yeah, and so there are a lot of people that are misinformed because of I don't know, just media and stuff that are saying,
all the fake news.
It's hotter than it was 2 years ago. We're gonna all die. It's like, no, we're actually in a cooling period. Recently, within the past 25 years or so, yes, it's been warming, but compared to the past 5,000 years, we're extremely colder than. We're in a mini ice age, is what they say.
They say. Dude, what if it's just like the stock market? Where
it goes up and down.
We're going up, and we're just going down right now. We have a drop, and then all of a sudden it just kicks up, right? And we're worth like. So think of it, 1,000,000 degrees.
Think of it like this. I'll show the viewers. So
the viewers
over the past
on YouTube. If you're watching on Spotify, sorry, you got to have a really good imagination.
So over the past 50,000 years or so, the Earth was going like this because an asteroid would hit, and then the temperature would drop, it would rise a lot because it would heat the Earth, and then there'd be a massive cooling after that. So that would cause ice ages, and so it would do this for a while because we were constantly being hit. But recently, it slowed down, and now it's doing this. So you see this kind of line?
So I see that. So what I'm thinking, right, is with the polar ice caps, right, and how they're melting, right? Yep. Is that still a thing?
Yeah.
Is it because we're dropping? I mean, is it because the Earth is getting cooler, but not cold enough to the point where the ice caps can stay frozen? Or how are the ice caps still melting? Because I know that's a fact.
They're melting because of the fact that civilizations thrive, and this has happened for a long period of time, whenever the Earth is at its warmest. Because the Earth has never been a full desert before. It's always been either really, really cold or pretty good. It's never been to the point where we're a boiling ball, basically. So
that's a tweet right there.
Yeah. So that's what kind of that graph shows, is we're the frequencies are slowing down to the point where we're actually in a good spot right now. Okay. But if we get hit by a meteor again, this thing right here skyrockets.
Okay, so meteors stay away.
And then drops again. And so then we go into another ice age.
That's interesting.
Yeah, and that's why people are, a lot of these scientists.
Is all because of the aliens.
Yeah, and no, I was going to tie it back with the aliens, but yeah, it's crazy where the world is and how we think we're so advanced, but if we get hit by one.
Dude, I think we're not advanced at all.
We're backwards.
I think we're just, I think it's gotten to the point where we aren't advancing anymore. We are just leveled off.
I don't even think we're leveled off. We're going backwards.
We're just coasting.
Because if you think 100 years ago, these people they know how to survive on their own, and other countries they were sent off to war. They were able to live on their own.
Well, I'm thinking more like technological advancements. I think
we're far advanced technologically.
Well, I think technologically we're just kind of coasting. I think we've reached a really high point up until like the early 2000s. I mean, give or take, it's been like maybe 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've been coasting for about 10 years because really everything that we've been doing isn't.
I think as a human species, we're going backwards when it comes to
like how
like
we thrive. Yeah,
because humans thrive in nature. They thrive in survival and the connection with others. But what's happening is people are shutting themselves off to society.
Mm-hmm.
They're secluding themselves, and then they're also they're not able to survive on their own. If their house burned down and they had no money, what would they do?
Yeah,
they wouldn't be able to survive.
I think nowadays, right, just compared to footage, research, document, whatever you could see, use to observe the kind of older world, is we've just become too dependent. We're kind of more on like the wuss side. We're kind of wusses, and there's no thick skin anymore. No thick skin. You say one thing, and like it can piss off somebody so much. You can get canceled. We could get canceled on this podcast in like 30 seconds if we say the wrong things.
I'm gonna give an analogy.
Gotta watch out for that.
I'm gonna give an analogy real quick based on what you just said.
I like it.
I think humanity right now is a bridge. So we used to be a strong bridge, but we've grown weak as a society to where now this bridge is getting pretty weak to where you keep driving cars or horses are crossing this bridge. It's getting weaker and weaker. Eventually, this bridge is going to collapse.
That's interesting.
And it only takes one meteor.
I like that theory. That's a good theory.
Isn't that a good?
It takes one rock to topple a bridge, right? It takes one person to topple a society. I know everyone thinks that their voices don't count, but I mean, talk to history. One person can make a difference there, and it could be for the good or it could be for the bad.
Yep. I think Elon Musk is really good for us as a civilization.
Dude, because he's just I love Elon Musk just because he's so straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
Like he doesn't sugarcoat things. He just says what he wants to say. If people get mad at him, he doesn't care. He'll just be like, whatever.
And that's what we need.
We need more people like that. We need people on the earth to be like that. Really, we need people in the U.S. Like, let's be honest. Like the U.S., maybe like Europe, but like really the U.S. is.
I think as a world,
I mean, as a world for sure.
Yeah, but U.S. is going.
But to me, from my perspective, from what I see and what I read and hear online, like when it comes to thick-skinned people, the U.S. is very, very low in that category. All right, because I mean, I get it. We want to fight for our rights. We want to have we want our voices to be heard. But sometimes, when your voices are heard, doesn't really matter. I mean, as messed up as that sounds, doesn't really matter.
I mean,
there's bigger issues there's bigger fish to fry, bigger fish to catch, whatever that analogy is, or that metaphor, that saying is,
With, I think America, it's like what we were founded on when it comes to like, what we stood for back then.
Freedom, independence, not really equality. Not really even equality, actually, at that point. It was just freedom and independence.
And we're growing away from that.
It is. And you know what else we're growing away from? We're growing away from aliens.
Aliens. I was going to say that.
We strayed big time. It's okay. It was good, though.
No, we're kind of mixing.
We're mixing it all in.
These topics do go together. With aliens.
Dude, I think a fun way to kind of bring it back in, dude, who are your top aliens, man?
That's a really good one. Top 3 aliens.
Top 3 aliens. We won't do like we did last time. It's just you just pick your 3. If I have one of the same ones, it might be the same. But I have my top 3 aliens.
Okay, I think we should do a draft though.
Okay, fine. Let's do a draft. You get to go first.
Alien from the Alien.
Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. Well, just because you picked Alien from the Alien, right? I'm gonna pick Predator.
Oh.
Because Predator's an alien, right?
That's a good
alien race. Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna go. Is Megamind an alien?
No. I don't think he's an alien. Oh, he might be an alien.
He's like blue, like
he's got the blue, but again, he is going towards what you said isn't real. The big bald-headed, blue dude or gray dude, whatever. So
you're
can
just
pick that.
trying to turn this on me.
Yeah, you're the one messing up here.
Gosh dang it. Okay. Well, I don't know what the aliens look like.
Okay, fine. You go ahead and just pick Megamind.
Megamind is my
Megamind's
second
gonna be
alien.
your second alien. I am going to pick. Gosh, I just had it in my head too, and it just blinked. I'm gonna pick the alien from American Dad. I don't know if you've seen him.
I've not.
You have not. Oh, well, he's great.
He's great.
He's great, but he's the very stereotypical gray. You know, skinny, kind of chunky. Chunky in the legs, skinny in the body, with the big ass, like gray bald head. So I'll pick him.
Oh, dude. This is tough. So I have a couple. I'll do some honorable mentions. You got E.T., of course.
Yeah. See, that would have been my third, but I'm not gonna pick him now.
You got the alien from the movie where the girl it becomes a giant and the president plays piano.
Monsters vs. Aliens.
The alien from that.
I don't remember his name. What was his name?
It's like,
I feel like it's like Greg or something, or
can't
Fred
remember.
or Frank. I don't know. Okay, but I know who you're talking the big blue Jello dude.
well, no, I was talking about the bad alien from that comes to the
that's
planet.
true. Okay,
but that guy's Bob. You're
yeah,
talking about
Bob. That's what it is. It's
The
Bob.
Jello guy.
Robert, the Jello dude.
Okay, actually, now that I think about it, Bob is my 3.
Bob is your third pick. Okay, all right, my third and final pick. Gosh, aliens. There's got to be something out there. Gosh, what's his name?
I was gonna say some Halo references too. There's some cool.
The
aliens
grunts are
from
funny,
Halo.
but no, he's not cool. The grunts aren't cool. The elites are all right.
I was gonna say the Flood.
The flood's cool. I mean, they definitely got some. Goodness, well, if I'm gonna pick an alien,
Looks like I won.
I think I'm gonna pick Bird Person
Third person.
from Rick and Morty. He's an alien, right?
Sure, we'll give it to you.
Hey, he doesn't live on Earth. His people are in another universe, so that's an alien.
We'll count it.
Or if I don't pick Bird Person, I'm gonna pick his other what's his other form?
I can't remember. It's been too long.
Birdman. I don't know. It's been a while since I've seen Rick and Morty. I was trying to think of an alien in Rick and Morty. There was the one where
Mr. Meeseeks.
Mr. Meeseeks was good, but that was more of a creation, right?
True.
That Rick made. It was the one
looks like an alien.
Squanch Man or whatever his name was. Yeah, I liked him too. But those are my honorable mentions.
Those are some good answers. I comment what team you think's best. I mean, it's pretty hard to beat Bob for Monsters versus Aliens.
He just eats anything.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I mean, back to the aliens thing. When do you think we're actually going to? Well, what evidence really is there? Do you think to really solidify the idea that aliens exist?
So I'll
got hella serious.
Yeah, I'll bring it to this point, which is kind of a segue, but it's to the Logan Paul thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't believe he has anything that is true. Like,
well, what happened with Logan Paul?
He has a video apparently where he has a video that has proof of aliens. So I don't know if it's true or anything, but if it does happen to be true, that would be
and Logan Paul, if you're out there, we'd love to see this video.
Yeah, just get our opinions on it.
Shoot us a message.
Yeah, but no, like the alien,
do it or you're canceled.
It's tough. It's tough to find true evidence that aliens exist because everything that's out there is so either vague, blurry. It's hard.
I changed my number 3. Sorry. Okay, Admiral Akbar. Admiral Akbar.
It's a trap.
Yep. I just thought I was thinking Star Wars, and I was like Admiral Akbar.
Dude, you keep doing the salute. It's not
I know.
Good.
Well, it's not a salute. It's more like I'm just pointing. Like I'm just like.
Okay.
It's like, boy. Okay. All right. So back to the Logan Paul thing. I'm so sorry I interrupted you. I just ruined the train of thought.
No, it's funny. It's funny. But the Logan Paul thing, it's like he claims he has this crazy evidence. I don't think he does, but there is a lot of evidence out there that I don't really see as hard evidence. It's a lot of speculation. The best evidence I think exists right now is the military records of the crafts that they've picked up on their radar that doesn't make any sense. that where they disappear into the ocean. It happens all the time.
Or how they just go at like high Mach speeds, and they can just make
no aircraft
0 degree turns.
Yeah,
just in an instant. I know that I've seen a lot of videos where you have a lot of like Navy pilots, flying out and just seeing these things on their radar, but also seeing them out and getting footage of everything going on, and they're just like, we don't know how to explain that.
Exactly.
But wasn't there something about it being over some trench? I don't know. What were we talking about earlier?
Oh yeah. So that I was actually going to say that the biggest thing as well is the disappearance into the ocean. There's no signs of these things escaping outside of the Earth. So a lot of this alien talk, I actually think, has to be a civilization that lives in the middle of the Earth.
That'd be so cool.
That would be sick. This whole time that this advanced, long lost civilization actually is this people that lives in this like bottom of the Mariana Trench. Like that would be crazy. But it's the only thing that makes sense right now with all these disappearances into the ocean.
So I think it's funny how we see a lot of there's so many sightings of UFOs or what UPOs.
They changed the name.
What's it called now? UPTs. I don't know.
Remember.
There's a P in it. That's one of the letters. But yeah, like we see so many sightings, outside and like in the world, but like we've never had like a sighting. I feel like in space. I feel like that should be something that can be detectable, like on the International Space Station.
No satellites.
Nothing. Like there's nothing. So that does justify kind of your claim, saying like there's no evidence of them leaving. The atmosphere. Everything is staying.
We would pick up on that
on planet.
We would know if something crossed our atmosphere.
Yeah, but then again, right? Isn't that just justifying that they're not aliens? Right? They're on this planet. What if they were here first? Right? If they were here first, then we're the aliens.
Yeah,
we're the ones that invaded
These people are like, what these people living on the loser land. They haven't figured out that the ocean's where
that just means that every human being is an illegal immigrant.
We're the Native Americans.
Oh my gosh, I don't know. That's we're canceled. Goodbye, guys. Thanks for joining.
I'm just saying when the Pilgrims came over, they wiped out all the Native Americans. What if the aliens?
Dude, no, they didn't. They went to Thanksgiving, bro. Like, come on. Read your history books.
They went to Thanksgiving.
They had that feast.
Yeah, then after Thanksgiving, the white people were like, all right, it's time to leave.
It's time to leave. Yeah, they got out of there, Told them to scoot. Yeah.
Oh, man. But yeah, I mean.
Obviously, you're not a history major.
Apparently, the government's like opening to talking about aliens now, which is kind of weird.
I saw that, how they're open to kind of explaining.
The Pentagon said that they were like, they're open to talking about UFO claims or stuff that they have.
Because they've always been so shut off. They've always just denied it. They've always said like, classified. Area 51. I mean, we've been talking about aliens, but we haven't even mentioned once Roswell, New Mexico.
Yeah.
It's like the hub of extraterrestrial. I mean, if you watch any movie or TV show, documentary about aliens, they're gonna mention Roswell because it's like Area 51, all the extraterrestrial research.
Phoenix as well,
but Phoenix, Phoenix too. About all the research that's going on that's the government's hiding from the population, top secret stuff.
I know there are claims from some past government people that there are unidentified objects that they have in Area 51.
You remember that one time that all those people camped outside Area 51 and they were going to storm it? It was like that. It was like one dude brought it up. He was like, dude, let's do this. And then he like rallied hundreds.
It was like during COVID, I think?
It was during COVID, just hundreds and hundreds of people. They all went there and they were going to just storm Area 51 to catch the aliens.
What have we turned into? We go from like fighting for our freedom literally like 200, 300 years ago to now we're trying to attack our own people to find out if aliens exist.
Dude, that's like my favorite quote. And you'll see it in I mean, honestly, in a lot of movies where it's like, if it's like a stupid movie and you have like an old man who fought in the war is like in this movie, he'll just be like, I went to war for this. Like I fought for this. That's like my favorite thing to hear because I'm just like, God, that's so relatable. That's so true.
It shows
these
that
people did all these things for us, and we're just being idiots now, just kind of jacked up on conspiracy theories, it's aliens, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Atlanteans.
The meeting of like 3,000 people named Josh. Did you see that?
Oh, I remember that.
Like, what are we turning into?
Dude, I mean, it's such a strange thing. It's so strange how.
And no, I did not go to that.
How we're evolving. I mean, we're like, I mean, I agree with what you said. How we're just kind of going down, we're reverting. You know, we're in a decline right now because
in a lot of ways
we're just getting too soft. You know, that's how we're gonna all die out, bro.
I forgot. This is kind of going back to the cosmography,
That's
but
fine.
I still want to talk about aliens. I've an alien talk thing as well, but have you seen the caves that are in the Middle East?
No, I haven't. I live in the U.S.
Well, not actually. See, you know what I mean. There is a cave system that is, I think they said it's the size of like New York City, underneath the ground, that can hold hundreds of thousands of people, and there's cities that connect each other underground, and they thought they were bunkers that were made. Yeah, that they thought strange. They were bunkers made like around when the world wars were happening, like, and when the Christians came in, like during the Crusades. They thought they were bunkers made around that time, but they found evidence that this was made long before that. And my theory is that these caves were made by the first people that survived the Great Flood and the attack from the meteor attack that hit the Earth. It hit the ice caps in North America, which caused a Great Flood to span over the entire Earth. And the only places that would have survived are people that went underground or went to the highest places on Earth.
So I have to argue that, right? Because if they go, if there's
not
a flood,
not immediately after it receded.
Okay, I was
because
like, if there's a flood, right? Why would they go underground? They would get trapped.
I know what you're saying.
I'm drowning.
It would have been years after, because if you think of a great flood, it would have happened over the course of maybe 1 or 2 years max.
Yeah.
And then the floods would have receded. And then what are you going to be afraid of after that event? The sky. Because a meteor struck the Earth and just completely wiped everybody from the planet.
That's true.
So the ones that survived, it would be like nuclear attacks. What do you do in a nuclear attack? You go to a bunker.
You go to a bunker, yeah.
So they were prehistoric bunkers.
That's interesting. That's good. I mean,
they could hold hundreds of thousands.
That's a different way to look at it. You know,
isn't that nuts? Like, why would you make a bunker that can hold multiple cities wide? The tunnels that they could hold hundreds of thousands of people. They went all the way down to a well, a water supply.
And it's the hidden path from Obi-Wan. You know.
Oh man, it's where the Jedis were sent to find their kyber crystals.
It's where the Jedis, you know, it's the pathway the Jedis took to evade the Empire. You know.
But yeah, what are your thoughts?
I'm playing Jedi Survivor right now, and so I'm obsessed with Star Wars again. But wait, what were you saying? What are my thoughts on
what are your thoughts on what do you think the reason is these caves exist?
Dude, I mean, I'm just learning about it right now, right? So
yeah, you got to look into it.
I don't really have too many thoughts. I'm definitely going to look into it to kind of educate myself more. But I mean, it could be a lot of things, right? It could be just erosion over time, right? It could be bunkers.
No, they were man-made.
Man-made.
These things, like hundreds of thousands of people, they were living quarters. There were kitchens. They found restrooms. They found.
Well, what would a restroom really be? Just
they just
like a hole.
Yeah,
just a hole to take your business down in.
Yes, they found axe marks. So if you look at the walls of these caves, they were literally chipped away by a man-made axe.
Pickaxes
over. Okay. I don't know the years, but it would have been before they had assumed that axes were actually been able to be made. Like they didn't even think.
What if, right? This is just conspiracy, right? What if the world was flooded, right? And then these underground water cave systems could be like an Atlantis type civilization, right? I don't really know how they look though. Are they just big open areas or
the caves?
The caves
are narrow,
or is it more like an ant?
It's an ant farm. It's literally an ant farm. And at the very bottom, there's a water supply where they get their water for a daily life, and it's
because all the water sinks down to the middle. That's interesting. No, that's good. That's
Isn't that
cool. I didn't
crazy?
realize that. I mean, I think it's smart if it's in some form of underground bunker. It makes sense for people that were scared of, a possible another asteroid or meteor.
Because if they're in the
coming
ground and they get hit at the surface, they're fine.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get hurt unless another flood happens.
Another flood could happen, or if they're lucky enough to where the meteor. The only thing that I would think, right, is what happens if they're in this civilization and the meteor hits and it causes the cave to cave in.
That could happen,
right? And I know they have their axes. They can probably get back out, but then
these were made quick too, because you look at the marks. These guys were afraid. You could just tell by the way these things are structured. It was out of fear. And what they assumed originally was they were hiding from native tribes near them that were violent tribes, which that was what people thought for a long time. But you realize that these weren't meant to protect them from other people. Like there weren't barricades, there weren't weapons found. There were this was fear of survival from natural disaster. Yeah.
That's cool.
It's so crazy.
That's wild. I didn't really I didn't know about that. I haven't really thought about that. I never really thought about the first people to, if anyone even survived the first meteor. You know what's crazy too? What?
Every disaster happens on average every 12 to 15,000 years.
Where are we at on that scale? Do you know?
Last time it happened was when Plato talked about the fall of Atlantis. That was 12,500 years ago.
Oh, so we're close to screwing up again.
And you know what is overdue?
What?
Yellowstone.
Yellowstone?
You know what Yellowstone is?
That's right. That's right. I do know about that. The volcano?
It's a massive, the whole park is a volcano. It's the largest volcano in North America, and its blast radius covers almost the entire continent. So,
dude, I want that to happen. That'd be so cool.
If you think about that, we would be affected in Texas.
Oh yeah, we would.
From ash. It wouldn't be the blast radius, but we would have to move to breathe, basically. Which is crazy to think about.
I mean, we wouldn't be able to move anywhere if it affects the whole.
Well, we would have to go south through Mexico. Mexico would be piling with people.
Dude, we would just be stuck in a post-apocalyptic world, and then the aliens would come down and act as our saviors.
And no one knows when it's gonna blow. No one knows when it's gonna explode.
Isn't that normal?
Oh my gosh. But no, I think a lot of people think Yellowstone will be the next disaster. There are thoughts and concerns about asteroids and comets and meteors and stuff.
This conversation has definitely just taken some turns, dude, but I've loved it. Oh my gosh.
It's a good talk. This
is an interesting podcast for sure. We're talking about aliens and
I want to bring it back to that too.
Yeah, we will, I think, to finish it off, right?
Yeah.
Dude, and then we get into civilization, and then we talked about Atlanteans and the Mariana Trench. Am I saying that right?
Mariana Trench.
The Mariana Trench. And then what was the other thing you said? It was the combination of geography.
Cosmography. That's basically what we just talked about today. Is because cosmography it's how people react to what these natural disasters do. How do they survive and rebuild? And we're in a rebuilding stage right now, where if we get hit by another disaster, we're going to be set back to another ice age.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, that's cool.
Pretty cool.
A lot of stuff going on today. What do y'all think, guys? What's the most interesting thing that y'all have heard? In this talk so far? Put it down in the comments. Let us know.
Today we wanted to just kind of talk about a lot of different stuff. Kind of do a little intro into this cosmography thing, aliens, and if y'all want to hear more in depth on a certain topic we talked about, let us know. If you want to hear more about the alien talk, we could do some of that.
And so we can always build up on that for sure. Anything else you wanted to add on?
One more thing, wrap up with a little alien talk before we end the pod. Do you know what the Phoenix Lights are?
I do not. I know what the Northern Lights are.
Ooh,
is the Phoenix Lights similar?
Not really.
No.
So I
have seen Harry Potter, so I know what a phoenix is.
So it's a little different than the Harry Potter Phoenix. Phoenix Lights. They're the lights. I think it's the biggest evidence of aliens, and so that's why I want to end it with this, and that is there was this triangle pattern of lights over the city of Phoenix for, I think, an entire night. And everybody in the city was looking at these, and they talk about how this wasn't a normal phenomenon. And so that's the biggest, most widely known alien phenomenon that has happened. The government says that they were just doing tests, but there are videos you can actually watch later about these Phoenix lights, and it's really cool. So if y'all want to check it out as well, check out the Phoenix lights. They're pretty crazy if you look at them, even on these videos. It's definitely not normal. Definitely not something that we would be able to do as a human species. So
okay, cool.
Yeah, no. Anything else you want to talk about? Or
I think that's it for me. Yeah, we kind of just, today was kind of your day, right? Because you know, you're a lot more educated in all these things. All I can think about is just wasp that's just flying right behind you, and it's just been behind you for like 10 minutes.
I'm just not gonna move.
I know, just don't move ever. You're stuck out here for the rest of your life. Good luck. No. Good luck and survive. I'll throw water out to you. I'll set some food out. Okay. I'll get you a little bowl. But all right, guys, I think that's it. If you liked the podcast, right? If you like the content, be sure to like, subscribe, follow us on Spotify. We're trying to hit some milestones, so be sure to give a listen, even if it's just for, a short amount of time. Hopefully you watch the full thing, right? You got all the way to this part, but hang out with us on all platforms: Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, and comment down below who you think is going to win out of our alien battle.
Oh yeah,
Team Nick or Team Josh. And I think that's it from me.
Yeah,
right?
Man, that was awesome. Let us know if you. We're kind of going to go more, I feel like, towards the long form content. Keep it somewhat short, but we'll try to make our videos a little bit longer, depending on the topic.
Course, yeah. So. And so, actually, have some fun ideas for our next one, but we won't reveal that just yet.
Yeah.
All right. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining us. Y'all have a great rest of your day, and peace out.
All right. Peace.